So, Dr. Eva, limiting beliefs, I think we're both agreed, they're impacting so many people and preventing them from stepping into their power. Can you just briefly explain what this is, limiting beliefs, and what we can do to release these limiting beliefs?
So in a simple way, in terms of explaining what they are, these are just beliefs that don't serve you particularly well. So for example, if you acquired a belief earlier in your childhood that don't stick your hand in the fire, because if you do that, it will be painful, then perhaps this is a belief that it's useful and you want to keep that going on into your adulthood, right? However, a lot of beliefs we acquire in childhood that are either passed on to us or we acquire through experience are nothing but falsehoods. Things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. You know, these are still beliefs, and the I am beliefs are actually even worse in terms of the limiting factor, if you like, because they're to do with your identity. You identify, you're saying I am, you identify with that. Whereas if it's something to do with maybe behavior, I'm having this behavior, I'm doing this, then that's easier to change because it's more superficial, it's to do with behavior. Anything that is to do with identity is going to take a little bit more work to change. So that's one thing to be aware of. The first thing, absolutely, the first step to changing anything, again, will be having awareness of what those are. So what I like to encourage people to do is to usually when we're doing things like that on my program, and I coach people through this, sort of have different headings, the different sort of aspects of your life, you know, relationships, health, and then you can look at beliefs specifically in those different areas that you hold that maybe and quite possibly are actually limiting you from progressing in that particular area. So if it's finances, for instance, right, you can do your professional life, your finances, whatever it is, you can break it down into areas that are important to you, and then you can work on identifying the different beliefs that you hold with regards to those different aspects of your life. Because if you have a belief, if, for instance, somebody comes and says, I never seem to be able to hold on to money. So I can make some money, but then somehow I go bankrupt or it disappears or something like that. And then you're looking at the different beliefs that they're holding with regards to money. And somebody, when they were little, said to them, only bad people have money. You know, if people are rich, they usually are not very nice, you know, something like that. So now this child started associating money with not being such a good person. And so even if money comes into their life, subconsciously they go, you're not such a good person now, and they reject it and they push it away. So this is just one example, and it's something that they may or may not be consciously aware of. But this is why this is a process of self-investigation, and you can use different questions. I've got a whole lot of questions that I usually ask to sort of prompt the answers, and suddenly those beliefs starting to come onto a piece of paper, and somebody can look at them and go, wow, I didn't even realize I believed that. But since I asked you that, and boom, that's the first thing you said, that's your belief, right? So then there are different ways of shifting into more positive programs that will serve you better. And really, all of this is about repetition, first of all, because nobody acquires a belief if they just hear something once. Usually it's repetitive, and usually those more consolidated beliefs, like for instance, I'm not good enough or whatever, those sort of things, is because people repeat it to themselves inside their heads. So they're the ones who consolidate those beliefs. So the subconscious is like a hard drive on your computer, really, and it just stores all the information. And if you decide to clear some information out of that and put some other information onto it, it will just go along with it, provided that you will repeat it often enough for it to then become your new belief. So with a belief change process, we need to be prepared that we need to repeat it quite a lot of times. So one simple way of doing it, there is a belief change process that a friend of mine developed that I use, but in a very simple way, what people can do once they identify that they have a limiting belief, they need to think now, okay, what is the opposite of that? What is it that, so, okay, I don't want that one. Okay, what do I want? What do I want? And it has to be stated positively, because if it isn't, then obviously you're not really correcting anything. So if you're saying, I am not good enough, what is the flip side of that? And maybe it is, I am worthy. Or things like, I am capable. If somebody thinks that they're useless, maybe they need to cultivate the belief that they are capable. Whatever it may be, once they decided what it is that their new belief needs to be, then it's a process of repetition. And what I find is it accelerates repetition, because you could use it like mantras. You can just put it on post-it notes and repeat it hundreds of times. But something like havening techniques, or something like a light state of meditation, when you alter your brainwave oscillations, you can accelerate the process of that belief sinking in and consolidating. And we use hypnotherapy often to embed new beliefs, right? So you need that altered state of consciousness to embed that belief more easily. And then once that's consolidated, you're going to start acting differently. Your behavior will change because you're acting on that new belief, that the subconscious program you're now acting from is the one that serves you more, as opposed to that destructive one that you had previously. So it is a process. It's not going to happen in 5 minutes. But if you use a modality such as havening techniques or some other modalities that alter your consciousness in a similar way, you can massively accelerate the embedding of that new belief, and then voila, you have a much better set of belief. And all I'm going to say to that, just to end on this point, that if you don't do any belief work, if you don't ever look at your beliefs, then I can guarantee you that the beliefs you are acting out or acting on are mostly other people's, or mostly things that are really not serving you very well. So at some point we all need to sit down and go, okay, I've got these beliefs, okay, these I'm keeping, these are good, these are not so good, so this is, I'm going to change. I really invite everybody to have a go at this, because your life can dramatically change for the better when you do that.